In today's Take a Day, I want to talk about the Los Angeles Clippers and their upcoming game versus the OKC Thunder tonight. I want to give you my pregame preview. Now, before we get into that, please like, subscribe, also hit the notification bell just so you can get the newest and the bonus content first. We put out content every day, so you won't miss any content here. Let's just go ahead and jump right into this. Now, I've been on record by saying that the Clippers need to be more consistent and more efficient just as a team. And there's some individual players on there that's playing pretty decent. But, if you're not playing cohesive as a team and you're not playing on the same page and on the same accord, a lot of things go wrong. A lot of things don't go right. And right now the Clippers are sitting 1-4, and they've lost to a couple teams I thought they should have beaten. Whether they played them once or twice or not, still thought they should have beat them. Like the Blazers, they played them twice within a week. I think they beat them by 30 the first time. The Blazers came back and got them the second time, which really the Blazers shouldn't have, because Paul George put up massive numbers and the Clippers still lost. And Damian Lillard hasn't found his footing yet in regards to the season so far. That's definitely 2 wins I think the Clippers should have, and the one loss they had, which was very terrible to me, against the Cleveland Cavaliers, losing at home to Cleveland, not scoring over 80 points. Cleveland's defense can't be that good. They're a bottom feeder team for the most part. No disrespect to the team overall, but it is what it is. They've never really been looked at as a formidable team up until the last time they had LeBron James and or Kyrie Irving. So to me, I like Colin Sexton, as I said before, on the Cleveland Cavaliers, but I definitely think Paul George is a whole lot better than Colin Sexton, and I definitely think the Clippers are a better team than the Cleveland Cavaliers, but they found themselves losing that game 92-79, which is really, really not good, because I always said, to be a really good team, you got to beat the teams you're supposed to beat. Great teams do that. And when you're not beating the teams you're supposed to beat, well, it's going to be even a hell of a lot more difficult to beat the teams that you're probably not supposed to beat, or going to have trouble or having a hard time to beat, which would be teams like the Nets and the Bucks and teams like that. You're going to have even a harder time playing against teams like that, because they already got their situation together. They got the chemistry they need. They got all the players they need, and they're on a different level than you are, especially right now without Kawhi Leonard. Now, if the Clippers had Kawhi Leonard, well, honestly, the Clippers would be on the top level, if you ask me, because, with Paul George playing the way he's playing, even though he's not shooting the most efficient, he's still putting up big numbers. And if you had Kawhi Leonard there, with him playing, putting up big numbers along with Kawhi Leonard putting up big numbers, I think the whole offense and the whole system would just run a lot better, of course. But right now you don't have Kawhi Leonard, and every win is crucial. Every game is crucial. I don't care if you play the Thunder. I don't care if you play the Cleveland Cavaliers. I don't care who you play. It could be the Charlotte Hornets. But even the Charlotte Hornets are good this year, right? So, at least so far. So it doesn't matter who you play. Every game counts for the Clippers. Every game is detrimental to the Clippers, because you're trying to put yourself in a playoff position. So when Kawhi Leonard does feel comfortable enough to come back, you're at least locked into a playoff position to where you guys can make a run. You don't have to be the 3rd or 4th seed, because you're probably not going to get that, 1st or 2nd seed. But if you can get 6th or 7th seed or something like that and secure a spot, that's what the Clippers need to aim their goal at, and kind of just take it from there. Hopefully Kawhi Leonard will come back so they can make a run in the playoffs like they were doing last year up until injuries. But at the same time, before the Clippers get to that spot, it's teams like this in your way. And the Oklahoma City Thunder, they're a feisty team. They play with a lot of energy and grit. Dort, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, shout out to him, and shout out to all the young players and everybody on OKC. They play really hard and they don't lay down for anybody. So if the Clippers think they're going to come into this game and kind of coast around and kind of just see how it goes and feel the other team out, you're going to find yourself down and you might actually lose this game, which would be another bad loss for the Clippers, because there again, you're playing a team that's very beatable and a team that you have a lot more talent than, and a team that you should beat with no hesitation. It should be I'm not gonna say it should be pretty easy, but it should be easy enough for you to get the victory, because you have the better team and you have a better superstar or you have a better star player on your team than what OKC has. So you have to look at that into account, and you have to take that into account, because the Clippers just have to win every game they can. And when your schedule is favorable, the way the Clippers have been to start the season, they can't go 1-4 with this type of schedule. They've played the Warriors without Klay Thompson and James Wiseman, and Draymond doesn't score, and even though they're shorthanded, they still win that game. The Warriors are playing good, so I can't, discredit them or anything like that. But like I said, there's been some losses the Clippers had that I thought they were questionable, and I think that they're a much better team than what they've been displaying. But, at the same time, you are what your record is, and that's the way all sports is, and that's how it's always been. I mean, I hope that the Clippers, find a way to get out their slump and start getting on a winning track and a winning streak. But you just have to see how it goes and see how, Ty Lue makes adjustments and how well the players adjust to the adjustments that are going to be made by Ty Lue. You're just going to have to see how that fits and how it pans out. It's going to be a long season, but at the same time, the Clippers can make it a lot easier on themselves by, hitting that stride as soon as possible so they can at least, be a playoff team. So, to give Kawhi more encouragement to come back, because there's no need for the Kawhi to come back if at some point in the season they're so low down in the standings. There's no need for Kawhi to come back and risk, trying to get hurt just to help them if they're not going to stay afloat and at least be a playoff team, which they definitely should be and could be, So we'll just have to see how it goes with the Clippers. But tonight it starts, another journey, another game. So you have to put the other ones behind you, and you have to have amnesia go into this game with a fully new mindset, new attitude, and win this game and carry it on to the next. But I definitely think the Clippers should win. My prediction of the game, I'm looking at 122 to 108, Clippers. I definitely think they should win this game pretty easily. I think they should win it going away. And I think everybody, including Reggie Jackson, everybody, along with Paul George, should have a fairly decent night to a really, really good night. And I think the Clippers bench should definitely contribute as well. But we'll see how that ends up, and we'll see how the game ends. Cali out.